Bonjour à toutes et à tous, et merci de vous joindre à nous cette année pour les prix du patrimoine de l'ICA, une occasion de célébrer l'intronisation de nos nouvelles et nouveaux fellows et la contribution de tous nos bénévoles. Today, we recognize so many of our members who have reached milestones in their volunteer journey. From those starting their legacy to those who have earned a place on the CIA Legacy Tree. We are pleased to celebrate you. Hélène Pouliot, CIA President, joins us today to present the various awards to our recipients. Hélène is a long-time volunteer with the Institute and through her career has had the opportunity to build relationship with many of today's award recipients. I'm also pleased to present today's host, René Couture, a dedicated CIA volunteer and champion of a strong actual community in Canada. Je vous remercie d'avoir pris le temps de vous joindre à nous. Aujourd'hui, bonne semaine de l'Action bénévole.
I'm excited to be here hosting the CIA Legacy Awards during National Volunteer Week. Before we begin, National Volunteer Week is about celebrating volunteers across Canada. Les membres de l'ICA consacrent du temps et partagent leur expertise de plusieurs façons pour soutenir des communautés solides. Que ce soit en tant que membre du conseil d'administration ou entraîneur d'équipe sportive, je suis toujours émerveillée par l'éventail de talents que possèdent mes pairs. I'd like to take just a moment to celebrate each and every one of you for collaborating with others to create stronger communities. This week is all about you. And now for our presentation of the CIA Legacy Awards. Today, Hélène Pouliot, CIA President, will present 5 categories of awards: the Award of Merit, Award of Honor, Award of Distinction, Award of Excellence, and the Lifetime Award. This year, we will celebrate 5 leaves turning from green to gold on our CIA Legacy Tree. Installed in 2020, the leaves of this tree represent our history and our future. The green leaves depict current and future members of the Institute, those whose legacy is yet to be determined. The gold leaves proudly display the name of those who've completed more than 24 terms of service with the Institute and are recognized as leaders in the profession. Red leaves are reserved for recipients of the Chambers-Brown Legacy Award, named after Rob Brown and Morris Chambers, the only 2 members of the CIA who have surpassed 48 terms of service. L'arbre du patrimoine n'est tout simplement pas assez grand pour afficher les noms de tous les bénévoles qui ont donné de leur temps à l'ICA. C'est pourquoi nous avons le site web des Prix du patrimoine de l'ICA. There you can interact with the virtual legacy tree, read about the Lifetime Award and Award of Excellence recipients, and view the award recipients for each of the other award categories. I encourage you to share your words of congratulations throughout this event using the chat feature. Many of our award recipients are here viewing the awards ceremony with you. Let them know you appreciate the value they add. Sans plus tarder, Hélène, il est maintenant temps de présenter le prix du mérite.
Thank you, Renee. The Award of Merit recognizes CIA members who have completed their first term of service with the Institute. We celebrate this milestone because it takes courage to raise your hand for the first time. Dans ce rôle, les bénévoles découvrent la structure de l'ICA, les règles d'affaires au sein des groupes bénévoles et comment équilibrer les engagements professionnels et ceux de la vie privée. This year, we are presenting the Award of Merit to 76 members. Je remercie tous les lauréats et lauréates du Prix du Mérite. La plupart d'entre vous occupent déjà leur prochain rôle ou sont actuellement à la recherche d'une prochaine occasion. You are at the beginning of your journey and will accomplish more than you can ever anticipate by continuing to be involved. Congratulations.
La force de l'ICA et de la profession actuarielle au Canada repose sur ses bénévoles. The Institute's history is rooted in the strength of volunteers. Volunteers founded and continue to grow the Institute through efforts in research, standards development, and education. CIA volunteers share their time, knowledge, and objectivity to help achieve the vision of financial security for all Canadians. I've always been proud to contribute to the goals of the Institute and have had many unique experiences as a result. I've grown because of the roles I've taken on, and I'm certain that our next level of award recipients will agree. Hélène, over to you to present the Award of Honor.
The Award of Honor is given to CI members who have completed 3 terms of service. This year, there are 47 recipients of this award. Ces bénévoles s'impliquent dans plusieurs facettes de l'ICA. Bon nombre d'entre eux et elles étant impliqués dans des travaux de sous-commission relevant soit de la direction de l'éducation et de la qualification, de la direction des conseils en matière d'actuariat ou en tant que membre d'un groupe chargé de la surveillance de projets relevant de la direction de la recherche. Congratulations, Award of Honor recipients. You now have the ability to better navigate the CIA's complex structure and have started to grow your network of peers. Nous avons hâte de voir comment l'évolution de votre patrimoine continuera d'évoluer.
This year, we have more award recipients than ever before for our awards of merit, honor, and distinction. This is in large part due to many of our IFRS 17 volunteer groups being disbanded and an overhaul of the structure under the CIA's Research Council, bringing many of our project oversight groups to a close.
Let's take a moment to celebrate the CIA volunteers who have played a role in these extremely important and resource-consuming endeavors. In 2022 alone, more than 135 CIA members sat on a project oversight group, and the number of those who contributed to IFRS 17 is incalculable because of its far reach. Nous avons une solide profession grâce à votre volonté de lever la main.
Le thème de Bénévoles Canada pour la Semaine de l'Action bénévole souligne l'importance de la collaboration. En réfléchissant aux paroles d'Hélène, nous pouvons voir à quel point cela est vrai. It is now time to present the Award of Distinction.
The 30 members receiving the Award of Distinction have completed 6 terms of volunteer service. From subcommittees to project oversight boards, these recipients are involved across all aspects of the CIA. Plusieurs de ces lauréats et lauréates sont à mi-parcours de carrière et ont une très bonne connaissance des occasions et des défis au sein de leur pratique. Thank you and congratulations to all of this year's Award of Distinction recipients. You are mentors to many and have made your mark on the Institute through your various contributions and commitments.
Le rapport intitulé « La force du nombre » est un résumé annuel du programme des services aux bénévoles de l'ICA. Il s'agit d'une très bonne ressource pour prendre connaissance de l'impact des bénévoles de l'ICA. Did you know that in 2022, over 850 CIA members volunteered? I encourage you to check out the report on the CIA's impact page to learn more about the outputs of your peers. It's now time to present our Award of Excellence. I'm looking forward to learning who the recipients are and the contributions they've made to the Institute.
The Award of Excellence is granted to those who complete 12 terms of service with the CIA. Pour plusieurs, 12 mandats complétés représentent toute une carrière bénévole et seul un petit nombre de membres atteignent ce jalon chaque année. S'il y avait un mot qui résume la vie et la carrière de Christian Marc, ce serait loyauté. Il est fidèle à sa ville natale de Québec où il est né, a grandi, a étudié et travaille maintenant. Il est fidèle à son employeur, IA, groupe financier, où il a passé toute sa carrière. Et surtout, il est fidèle à sa femme bien-aimée et à leurs enfants. L'ICA et la profession actuarielle ont également bénéficié de la loyauté de Christian Marc, que nous reconnaissons aujourd'hui au moyen du prix Excellence. Christian Marc s'est impliqué auprès de l'Institut afin de poursuivre sa passion qui consiste à faire progresser la profession et il s'est avéré très habile dans la poursuite de cette mission en apportant des contributions considérables aux travaux de la Commission des rapports financiers des compagnies d'assurance-vie, la Commission sur la gestion des risques et le capital requis, ainsi que la Commission de pratique d'investissement. Il a été un collaborateur principal au groupe de travail de l'ICA sur les garanties de placement des fonds distincts au tournant du millénaire. Un groupe qui a rendu possible l'évolution de la pratique actuarielle pour ces garanties de placement, voire à contribuer à le révolutionner. En plus d'apporter des contributions directes à la profession, Christian Marc a mis son temps au service de la Fondation actuarielle du Canada, à la fois en tant qu'administrateur et secrétaire, collaborant avec ses pairs dans le but d'identifier les meilleures possibilités pour soutenir le développement des connaissances financières chez les jeunes Canadiens et Canadiennes. Christian Marc, merci pour tout ce que vous offrez à l'Institut, à la profession et à votre communauté.
Merci Hélène, au nom de l'Institut, de souligner ma contribution à la profession actuarielle par cette reconnaissance. C'est une occasion pour moi de prendre une pause et de regarder le chemin parcouru par la profession depuis mes études. Certains diront que je suis vintage, car lorsque j'étais encore étudiant au début des années 80, c'était l'époque des facteurs de commutation, des cartes perforées pour ordinateurs centraux et des taux d'intérêt fixes comme hypothèse. Aujourd'hui, en 2023, la profession actuarielle est très différente. Elle a su s'adapter aux changements, tirer parti des nouvelles opportunités afin de se renouveler. Cette évolution de la profession s'est produite et continue de se produire par des actuaires passionnés par leur profession qui s'impliquent dans les différents comités et groupes de travail. Lors de mes premières participations à ces comités, j'ai eu l'occasion de côtoyer des actuaires qui ont voulu me partager leur passion pour la profession. Après toutes ces années, je crois que cette reconnaissance qui m'est présentée aujourd'hui vient confirmer qu'elles et qu'ils ont bien réussi à me partager leur passion. Merci. Thank you.
Merci encore, Christian-Marc, pour ta contribution et félicitations.
Merci, ce fut un plaisir et j'espère qu'on poursuivre cette passion.
Emile quickly became involved in volunteer efforts after achieving his fellowship in 1993. He was first recruited to the Younger Actuaries Committee and has remained involved ever since. His contributions are far-reaching, from the Committee on Risk Management and Capital Requirements through to chairing the CIA's General Business, Professionalism, and Leadership Subcommittee. Over the course of his commitments, Emile has gained a reputation for being a thoughtful and encouraging leader. In his most recent role as co-chair of the Single Topic Task Force on Risk Classification, Emile put his leadership skills into action to deliver a CIA statement on the use of big data in risk classification. This statement took several years to fully develop and refine, and as a result, these efforts generated more attention than anticipated, leading to several discussions with regulators and other groups interested in learning more about the CIA perspective. Emile's creative problem-solving and his drive to find unique solutions to create healthier communities are a valued asset. This outlook sees Emile taking the public interest to new heights through his leadership at Swiss Re, dedicating time to advocate on the power of nutrition and its impact on the life insurance industry. It's these unique endeavors that remind us to never settle for status quo. Emile, thank you for many contributions. It is my pleasure to be presenting you with this award of excellence today.
Hélène, thank you for your kind words. Great to see you after so many years. It's an honor. I was surprised with the award. It's a great honor. I'm proud to be an actuary. I like to think of, I always remind myself of, I think it was Francis Bacon that said, I hold every man a debtor to his profession. And it's that sort of spirit which, I feel it's, my duty to, give back to the profession in the best way that I can, right? So it's fun. I'm blessed to be an actuary and working with many great people throughout the years. So thank you, Hélène. And for sharing those kind words with me.
Thank you again, Emile, for your service. Frank is a community-minded FCIA who believes in the value of engaging others in discussions and learning from one another. Beyond his 12 terms of service with the CIA, which we are recognizing today with the Award of Excellence, he's been deeply involved with the Society of Actuaries, the International Actuarial Association, and his community, holding himself accountable for leaving things a little better than he finds them. Frank has been involved in a wide array of efforts, and his openness has resulted in unique experiences. As a member and chair of the Communications Committee, Frank helped paved the road to establish the ever-growing communications department of the CIA head office. Well-versed in climate change, through his involvement with the Actuaries Climate Index, he was also one of the first members of the CIA Committee on Climate Change and Sustainability. More recently, he was a co-speaker for the CIA's webcast on conflicts of interest, speaking on the different types of conflicts that may arise in the profession. A ferocious reader and lover of the creative side of life, Frank firmly believes in the value of thinking outside the box. He appreciates reciprocal relationships with allied professionals and eagerly seeks new ways to solve problems. Frank, we appreciate the high bar that you set for our profession, and we are pleased to celebrate your many accomplishments today.
Thank you, Hélène, for those kind words. From time to time, I've been referred to as a voracious reader. I think that's true. But you just described me as a ferocious reader, and that's the first time I've heard that term used that I can recall. And I'll keep it in mind. One of the benefits of volunteering for the CIA that I've enjoyed is the opportunity to meet with actuaries beyond my usual circle. And that's not just a social thing. It provides the opportunity to see things a little differently and to think about them differently as well. And this is particularly helpful beyond one's normal area of practice. It's sometimes the case that the beginning of a solution to an old problem can be found in new thinking. And so in that regard, I've been very pleased to volunteer for the CIA.
Again, thank you, Frank, for your contribution to the CIA, and congratulations.
You're welcome, and bye for now.
Incredible contributions from Émile, Frank, and Christian Marc. Your words are so very motivating. Thank you for sharing your stories and so much of your time with the CIA. We're nearing the end of this year's presentation with one last award, the Lifetime Award.
The Lifetime Award is reserved for CIA members who have completed a minimum of 24 terms of service and have done so with the spirit of a strong actuarial practice in Canada. Nous afficherons le nom de ces personnes dans l'arbre du patrimoine de l'ICA. Dave became an FCIA in 1979, very soon after completing his degree at the University of Waterloo. Spending his entire career with a mid-sized international financial company, Dave took on opportunities to grow through the challenges of a variety of different roles, one of which was being responsible for products worldwide. As with most volunteer journeys, Dave's is unique. He has completed 32 terms of service with the CIA in just 26 years. Of those terms, a third have been in leadership positions. Throughout his varied terms of service, Dave has developed a reputation of seeking the best and the brightest to work alongside with him, never hesitating to reach out to someone he's never met to discuss an opportunity. A strong proponent of identifying goals, determining a pathway, and welcoming difficult projects, Dave has taken on many challenges with the CIA. As chair of the Research Committee, now the Research Council, Dave identified opportunities to better coordinate research projects, which vastly increased the CIA's research outputs. During his time as CIA president, he negotiated an education agreement with the SOA that ensured the needs of Canadian actuaries were being met. The year following, Dave stepped up to chair the Customer Relationship Management Steering Committee, a huge undertaking to integrate new technology in the CIA's member management systems. While his career and volunteer involvement have afforded him opportunities to build a network of friends and peers, Dave is a very proud husband, father, and grandfather, always advocating that family should be life's priority. It's with his family that he enjoys travel, spending time at his condo in Huntsville, and opportunities to gather over delicious meals. Dave, thank you for your leadership and drive. I am proud to present you with the Lifetime Award.
Thanks, Hélène. Thanks for those kind words. It was great. And thanks for the award. I feel like I've won the Academy Award or something. It's a great honor. People ask me how I got started volunteering, and it's just a brief story. When I finished my exams, I did some volunteer work with the Society of Actuaries on their exam committees. A friend of mine was on a committee and asked me to join. So I did a number of terms developing exams and marking exams, as many of us did. And along the way, I ran into an actuary, Fred Thompson, who many of us remember, and he asked me to help him. He was responsible for putting together the US side of a joint meeting with the CIA that was happening in Montreal. So I worked with him, and we put together a number of joint sessions with the society and the CIA. And along the lines, I ran into the CIA Program Committee, which was responsible for developing programs and the general meetings we had. So eventually I joined the CIA Program Committee. And at that time, Rob Stapleford was the chair. And I got to know the CIA and the staff and things. And from there, different opportunities just came up. I became chair of the Program Committee and then joined a number of other committees and task force. People ask me why I volunteered with the CIA for fairly long time, and I would quickly say for two reasons. One, it was fun, and two, it was rewarding. Along the way, I got to know a lot of actuaries, which helped me in my career. I know when I ran for president-elect, I ran against two other people, and one was Fred Thompson. And I had to put together some kind of a campaign, and I really didn't know what to do. So I thought I would contact people I knew in the CIA, and I quickly put together a list of about 200 people that I knew in the CIA. And I contacted them all either by phone or email, and it ended up I had a number of lunches with people I hadn't seen for a while. And also it helped me in my career. I remember one example. We were struggling with developing a Canadian term plan. We were running into some regulatory issue with it. And one of the people I knew on one of the committees was a pricing guy, I think from Empire. And he, talking to him, in 5 minutes, he gave me the solution. It was great. So I got to know a lot of people, got to know a lot of staff at the CIA, and it was just a wonderful time. And in my role as president and chairing committees and boards, I found it improved my management skills. Actuaries often have strong opinions on things, and chairing a committee or a board, you have to get some kind of a consensus, and it often was difficult and challenging, and it certainly improved my people skills and my management skills in being able to get things done. So it was a great experience for me, and I continue to volunteer. I'm still chair of the discipline committee, which I call it, and I've got another 4 years to run there, so I'm looking for another at least 4 years with the CIA. So it was great. It was sort of a great experience, and I would encourage anybody that's considering volunteering for the CIA to jump at the opportunity and look for something to do with the CIA. So Hélène and the CIA, thanks again for the award, and I really appreciate it.
Congratulations, Dave.
Well, thank you, Dave, and congratulations.
Thanks again.
Depuis l'obtention de son titre de FICA en 1992, Jacques est une force inépuisable. Il a accompli plus de 30 mandats bénévoles au sein de l'ICA et il a la réputation d'avancer dans la vie avec une fougue contagieuse. Que ce soit lorsqu'il parle de son amour pour les Canadiens de Montréal et les Argonautes de Toronto, de sa fierté pour ses racines limouloises, des réussites de son épouse Teresa et de leurs 3 enfants, ou des nombreux avantages associés à sa profession, son discours vient du cœur. Jacques has been involved in almost every facet of the CIA, including education, international affairs, guidance, governance, public affairs, and the profession oversight. He's led high-profile initiatives like the former Blue Ribbon Task Force on public statements, and in 2015 served as CIA president. That year, he also marked the CIA's 50th anniversary by opening the annual conference with his famous "I am a Canadian actuary" rant, which is still viewed on YouTube to this day. Homme de cœur, prêt à transmettre humblement ses connaissances et son savoir-faire, Jacques ne refuse jamais une occasion de favoriser la croissance professionnelle et de promouvoir la valeur de l'apprentissage réciproque. Il saisit également les occasions de souligner les réalisations de ceux et celles qui l'entourent grâce à de petits actes de gentillesse et de plus grandes démonstrations. Le rafraîchissement qu'il a apporté au Prix du Président en 2016 en rendant hommage à 5 membres de l'ICA ayant contribué à des réalisations exceptionnelles dans le domaine actuariel en est un excellent exemple. Jacques embodied the CIA's vision of financial security for all Canadians by speaking directly to the public on news programs, sharing the impact that retirement age has on Canadian pension plan income. He continues to promote our vision through his involvement with the profession oversight, participating in the development of standards, and now chairing the tribunal panel. Jacques, we appreciate all you've contributed to making our profession one to be proud of. I am honored to present you with the CIA's Lifetime Award.
Merci pour cet honneur, Hélène. C'était une très, très grande surprise quand j'ai reçu le courriel il y a une couple de mois pour cet honneur. Je veux dire merci à Michel Simard et à toute l'équipe de l'Institut canadien des actuaires, à mes collègues à Albert Wyman, à mes collègues professionnels que j'ai rencontrés au cours des années, avec qui, comme tu l'as dit, on a travaillé sur des excellents projets. Ma famille, Teresa, Daniel, Nicole, Willow, Rose, Théodore, Stéphanie, Sandy, Jean-François et Kate. Je m'excuse. Tous ces gens-là ont contribué d'une façon très positive à ma carrière professionnelle et volontaire. Et puis, je veux vraiment tous les remercier. Je veux aussi remercier Les Standridge. Et comme tu l'as dit, Hélène, la Tribute to an Actuary, c'est quelque chose que les gens en parlent toujours aujourd'hui. Ce que je veux partager avec tout le monde, c'est ce que ça m'a donné au cours des années d'être volontaire avec l'Institut canadien des actuaires. It helped me tremendously with management project skills, something that I do today in my day-to-day work, being chair of Clifford, chair of the International Council, chair of, CIA president, and chair of the board. And all that brought me to be today vice chair at Empire Life. Like you said, le petit gars de Limoilou did quite some track. As I mentioned, the video tribute to an actuary, people still talk to me about it. This was so much fun. Thank you, Les Standridge, for helping me putting this together. Standing ovation, 700 to 800 actuaries at 9 a.m. in the morning. It's like, wow. And I still love what I said in that tribute. That was fantastic. The work on public affairs, I really wanted the CIA to get more involved in public affairs, stop saying these are the good things, these are, you know, the negative things, and you make your own choice. This was important to us. This was important for our pension colleague. They wanted me as a life actuary to lead the team, and it was a lot of fun. And it brought us to be on BNN Bloomberg television on a Monday afternoon, which was quite something, to be quite honest. It's quite different. It's one thing to do a tribute to an actuary in front of 700 actuaries, but then to be in front of the camera at BNN Bloomberg live interview, I was nervous. That's the least to say. But that's something else as well that the CIA brought to that helped me with public speaking. I used to prepare 3-4 days for public speaking assignments, where now I can, in essence, pretty well do them on the fly. You just didn't have time as CIA president to rehearse and rehearse and rehearse. So it gives you the confidence to be able to, okay, here's the message, this is what you need to do, and you just go and do it. And to all the actuaries out there, my advice is join the CIA in any way you can. You will get to learn many, many fantastic skills, and you'll make contacts that are going to last for life. So again, Hélène, the CIA, thank you, everyone. I did not expect this. Thank you.
Félicitations, Jacques.
Une fois de plus, merci beaucoup, Jacques, pour ton apport à l'ICA et félicitations. Jim Burley has been a CIA volunteer since the early years of his actuarial career, a career spent entirely with Munich Re, moving through the ranks from actuarial student to president of the Canadian and Caribbean operations and chairman of the board of their US subsidiary. Jim was encouraged by his employer to leverage volunteer opportunities to develop relationships with future decision makers very early in his career. Joining the CIA's Younger Actuaries Committee was his first foray into the work of the CIA, an experience that sparked his passion and long-term interest in supporting the profession. Over his 31 years of involvement as a CIA volunteer, Jim gained a reputation as a change maker. He impacted liability reporting requirements for actuaries in Canada and advocated for a larger and more meaningful role for actuaries. He also represented the CIA in NAFTA discussions, addressing the ability of actuaries to practice in other NAFTA countries. It was during these discussions that he had the unique opportunity as a guest of the Mexican government to tour Chichen Itza and learn about the site from the passionate head archaeologist. In addition to the inroads he made in improving financial reporting, Jim also used his influence as CIA president to convince the superintendent of insurance to accept Canadian GAAP for statutory reporting, allowing actuaries to avoid the situation of trying to explain why two different values each represented the actuarial liabilities. Today, we're celebrating Jim for his accomplishment and his loyalty. Whether it's family, work, volunteering, or his golf game, he gives every pursuit his all and makes meaningful friendships along the way. Congratulations, Jim, and thank you for everything you've contributed to our profession. I'm very proud to present you with the CIA's Lifetime Award.
Thank you, Hélène. I'm truly humbled and honored by this award and recognition of my efforts on behalf of our profession. It's especially rewarding knowing that this was named after Mo Chambers and Rob Brown, two good friends that I was very privileged to work with in my time with the CIA. It's a privilege to support one's profession, and although I did put many hours into my work for the CIA, I always felt that I received far more back in return. The benefits of being involved in the work of this institute are numerous. You have the opportunity to help mold the future of the profession, being in the leading edge of developments within the profession and industries. Although the path from mathematician to professional began far before my time, I was lucky enough to be part of its culmination with the development of our standards of practice, the role of the appointed actuary, and having GAAP accounting approved for life insurance in Canada. You also get to meet and work with an amazing group of talented people. There are so many that I couldn't possibly name them all here. However, one person, in addition to Rob and Mo, would be Ken Clark. He was a leading example of someone who was devoted to the development of the Institute, and I learned from him what it meant to be a true professional. You gain experience working on projects and committee work requiring compromise and teamwork. You have the opportunity to develop your leadership skills, possibly at an earlier stage in your career than you would otherwise. From a personal point of view, it provided me with an opportunity to practice my public speaking skills, which became extremely important later in my career. When I was first asked to speak at a CIA meeting, I was so nervous I wouldn't go up to the podium. I just sat at the table and presented my paper there. However, with experience that I gained through speaking at CIA meetings, I not only became comfortable with public speaking, but actually enjoyed it. And this served me very well when I was required to represent my company's global life insurance operations at investment analyst conferences around the world. So my message to all the actuarial students and newly minted actuaries, and indeed any other actuary who's contemplating volunteering for the CIA, is get involved as soon as you can. It's truly a win-win proposition for you as well as a profession that provides you with a highly valued set of skills and knowledge. I'd also like to say to younger actuaries, don't be concerned about lacking experience or knowledge. Even the most seasoned committee members remember when they first started their volunteer efforts, and are only too happy to have a new member to help with the work. In conclusion, I'd like to again thank the CIA for honoring me with this award.
Congratulations, James.
Thank you again, Jim, for your great contribution to the CIA.
My pleasure.
It is with great pride that I present Kit Moore with the Lifetime Award today. Kit's journey with the CIA began in 1967 when he first achieved his fellowship. As was quite common at the time, his first volunteer role was with the Younger Actuaries Committee, which he embraced as an opportunity to contribute to the profession, something he saw great value in. As Kit gained experience, he took on roles of increasing responsibility. He honed his negotiation and public speaking skills and put these to good use in planning and emceeing the CIA annual meeting, keynoted by Royal Canadian Air Force member Don Ferguson, and leading the committee that organized the CIA 25th anniversary meeting, keynoted by David Suzuki. Kit eventually became president of the CIA. During his tenure, he supported initiatives to ensure a strong profession, promoting the role of actuaries with great enthusiasm and pride. Kit led by example, emphasizing that volunteering should be fun and an opportunity to build camaraderie. One such example is his participation in a CIA board pumpkin growing contest, which he won with a mammoth 166-pound pumpkin. While it's nice to reflect on the lighter side of Kit's achievement, we must be sure to highlight his impact on the quality of life for Canada's seniors. With the same energy that he put into climbing Alaska's Denali formerly known as Mount McKinley, Kit led 2 task forces focused on the future of the CPP and QPP. He and the task force member attended many meetings and negotiations, including presenting to a parliamentary committee to make recommendations that would improve the long-term viability of the pension programs, many of which were adopted. Kit, you impacted the lives of many. Thank you for everything you've shared.
Well, thank you, Hélène. I thought I'd already received the last award I was ever going to get in my lifetime, but it's really been wonderful to have this reminder of my time as a volunteer at the CIA. As you mentioned, my first volunteer work was with the younger actuaries, but I really had another goal in mind, and soon I started to work on that. And I should explain, when I was graduating from high school, I met with a guidance counselor, as you normally do, and he asked me about my career choices. And I said I would like to be an actuary or a veterinarian. And he looked a little confused, and he said, very interesting. By the way, what is an actuary? And of course, that wasn't the last time I heard that response, because anytime I told somebody I was going to be an actuary, that's the response I got. So with that in mind, I decided to eventually devote my CIA volunteer time to looking for ways to promote the actuary's role, to tell people what an actuary was, and show how the actuary was helping our society. So those 2 task forces you mentioned, Hélène, those were perfect examples of that sort of thing. Many press conferences, TV and radio interviews, and newspaper articles, all a good opportunity to tell people what actuaries do. And of course, the really important result of those task forces was that our advice helped to put the CPP and the QPP back on track again. In that project, the thing that I really enjoyed most, I think, was the all-party parliamentary committee that Normand Gendron and I attended. He did the French speaking, I did the English speaking, where we got lots of good questions, good solid questions from the MPs from all parties. And afterwards, they really showed their appreciation to us for that advice. And it's clear that the government took some of it. A related project was my time on a consortium of 5 actuarial bodies in North America. I was representing the Institute. There was the Society of Actuaries, Property Casualty Actuaries, Actuaries in Public Practice, and the Academy of Actuaries. And the goal of that consortium was to promote the role of actuaries in various parts of our society. Somewhere in the CIA office, you can probably still find a silver anvil award that was presented to us by the Public Relations Society of America for the Institute's part in conducting what they said was the finest institutional PR program put on in 1992. So that was quite an honor for the CIA. And the Canadian, the work we did on the CPP, QPP task forces, that partly resulted from the work that I did on that consortium. I was a clear choice to chair those task forces. So I really want to say to each new actuary that they should look for a CIA volunteer activity that appeals to them. In my case, it was, promoting the role of the actuary, but someone else might prefer to volunteer on a committee dealing with a more technical actuarial subject or something to do with the administration. The CIA has a wide range of committees needing help, and I have to say that the CIA office provides an amazing amount of resources that help us in that volunteer work. So much of the work is done by the CIA office. And I'd like to finish by saying how much I enjoyed volunteering. You mentioned that, Hélène, and I really enjoyed volunteering with the CIA. And I learned quite a few things about project management and negotiating positions and presentation skills to some extent. But actuaries have different views on different things, and it sometimes takes a while to get agreement on these things. And I have many fond memories still about the people and the projects I worked with during those years. I still see a few of those people many, many years later. I should be thanking the CIA. I don't think the CIA should be thanking me. So thank you, CIA, and thank you, Hélène.
Congratulations, Kit.
Thank you so much, Kit, and congratulations.
Well, thank you, Hélène.
An accomplished consulting actuary, Nancy dedicated about 30 years to the actuarial profession. Though most of her career was focused on pension practice, she also enjoyed working on workers' compensation and post-employment benefit plans. Shortly after achieving fellowship with the CIA, Nancy accepted an invitation to join the Pension Plan Financial Reporting Committee, seeing it as an opportunity to contribute her perspective and to influence the results of the committee's work. It wasn't long after joining this group that Nancy was invited to get involved with the CIA's Election Committee, then the Committee on Human Rights, the Committee on Workers' Compensation, and the list continues from there. Nancy's varied volunteer experiences reflect the openness and positive energy she brings to everything she does. She's highly regarded for her keen ability to navigate the balance between sharing and listening to ideas, and for genuinely appreciating a wide range of perspective. These leadership skills made her the perfect chair for a committee to rewrite the standards of practice relating to actuarial evidence, despite it being outside her direct practice area. Together with her ability to take a step back and balance various considerations, they also enable her to thrive in the role of tribunal panel member. Nancy, likely unknowingly, is a trailblazer. The year she completed her first term of service, she was one of only 25 women volunteering for the CIA. As Nancy grew professionally, she became a mentor for women entering the actuarial arena, setting an example for young actuaries to model themselves after. It is fitting that Nancy is the first woman to be added to the CIA legacy tree. Nancy, I am pleased to present you with the Lifetime Award today. Thank you for your many contributions to the CIA.
Thank you, Hélène, for your kind words and this special recognition. It's a real honor to receive this award and to be included with this group of actuaries. I have a lot of very good memories about my volunteer experiences. In fact, I remember working with you, Hélène, on a couple of volunteer projects many years ago. I've always felt very privileged to be part of such a strong actuarial profession in Canada. I learned so much, and we all learned so much from working with the CIA. We get so many benefits, and I think it's important that all of us give back to the CIA to help maintain its strength and to make it even better. And volunteering helps not only the profession, but it also helps us as individuals. Even a new fellow can work with a volunteer group, influence the results, and make a difference, and that feels very good. By volunteering, we can broaden our perspectives. We work with so many actuaries from across the country, from all different practice areas, from all different types of employers, and they can have very different perspectives at times, that's for sure. By volunteering, we meet new friends, new contacts, new mentors. And by volunteering, that helps us with our paid jobs too. And our clients and our employers may appreciate that. When I look back on my actuarial career, I think I would have missed out on so much if I had not volunteered. I retired from paid work 17 years ago, but at that point, I wasn't ready to give up on my volunteer work. So I kept volunteering for another decade. And I think those last 10 years were probably the most fruitful and the most enjoyable years in my volunteer service. It was a real privilege. And again, I want to thank you, Hélène, and the CIA for this award. And I want to thank all the actuaries and all the CIA staff members that I've worked with over the years. It was a real pleasure.
Congratulations, Nancy.
Thank you again, Nancy, and congratulations.
Thanks, Hélène.
What incredible stories we've just heard. Dave, Jacques, Jim, Kit, and Nancy, you are excellent reminders that behind every bylaw changed, standard implemented, discipline concern heard, and education opportunity presented, there are people working together for the greater good. Let's have one more round of applause for these leaders. Thank you everyone for joining us today for this very special presentation. It's important that we create opportunities to celebrate one another's accomplishments in this very special profession. Je suis vraiment fière d'être membre de la communauté actuarielle canadienne et d'être entourée de gens incroyables comme ceux et celles que nous avons célébrés aujourd'hui. This afternoon, you will receive an email from the CIA head office with a link to the CIA Legacy Awards website, which will include a link to this presentation and a link to the Strengths in Numbers report. Feel free to share these resources far and wide, and don't forget to share your words of congratulations with your peers. Thanks again, and on behalf of everyone at the CIA, happy National Volunteer Week.